Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast, number 1355. We are heading towards 1461, which will occur on July 31st and be our 4th year of doing these daily podcasts. So welcome. Today's topic, 10 ways to relax on a Sunday. And you never know, I might throw some extra curveballs in there. So let's get started. It's Sunday today, so let's get started on some different ways that you can relax on a Sunday. Now, before we go, we're going to clarify the Sunday thing just a little bit. We realize that some people have to actually work on the actual day, which is called Sunday. So Sunday is going to be whatever weekend time you have. So if you work the weekend and you get Monday, Tuesday off, Tuesday would be your Sunday. So, or if you work through to like Wednesday, then, Wednesday, Thursday could be your Sunday. It's whatever day. When you have the 2 days off together, it's that second day, which is what we're referring to as Sunday. So that's just to clarify that, because people will go, well, I have to work on Sundays. Yeah, you do. Some people have to work, but later in the week, at a different time of the week, they would get a 2-day period off. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about that Sunday day off. I just happen to set aside Sunday as, part of being a self-employed and having my own business and everything else, is I can turn around and say, I ain't working on Sundays. And I can actually take the actual Sunday off. So whatever whatever day of the week the Sunday is for you in your situation, we got 10 different ways that you can relax on a Sunday. So my little list here. So the first one is sleep in. I love Sundays for sleeping. Although I know next Sunday I don't get to sleep in because I've got Networking Riches on. That reminds me, Networking Riches, havettonetwork.com, boom, bang, you're in. So you get to sleep in. So Sundays, I love Sundays because we get to sleep in. Yes, my alarm still goes off at 5 o'clock, and I would just reach over so it doesn't snooze and just do the double tap, which turns the alarm off for the rest of the day, and then just go back to sleep. I did it this morning, and I was awake at 6:30. So for me, that was a sleep in. Those that know me, they know that was my sleep-in time. The other things that you can do on a Sunday is go to brunch. There are plenty of have brunch. There are plenty of places around. If you want to go out and enjoy these things, there are plenty of places around that will offer you, where their breakfast serving time goes to like 10 or 11 o'clock before they switch over to the lunch menu. There are places out there that will serve breakfast all day. A lot of diners will do that. Then you've got the places like IHOP and Denny's and other places. Those are the only ones that come to mind right now. But you do have some restaurants that serve breakfast all day, so you can go and have a relaxing brunch. This is a few in the midweek, but on a Sunday, there's a lot of places that offer brunch menus as well, with like buffets and that sort of thing. One of our favorite places in LA to go was 94th Squadron out there at Van Nuys Airport. It's a really cool place. It has an amazing buffet. It was an incredible buffet, and we would be there for a couple of hours at least, just grazing our way through the buffets. It was a lot of fun, and we always went with a group of people, and we would always have a great time at that, because when you're having brunch, you can do it as a couple, you can do it by yourself, or go with a group of friends or a family group, and just have a relaxing meal where you're just grazing. You can hop up when you want to go get more food. You can sit down and eat what you've got and that sort of stuff. And buffets kind of cater to any eating plan that you're on. If you're doing keto or paleo or anything like that, you can find stuff to eat that doesn't interrupt your thing. Although at buffets, I tend to say it's a buffet. I don't get to do buffets very often. So buffets, whatever eating plan I'm doing that day, it's out the window. It is gone. But then when I'm looking at things, I tend to find myself sticking much more. I find myself sticking to much more whatever eating plan I'm doing at the time. But I'll add like a couple of treats. So have brunch. Make brunch at home. I love making brunch at home, especially if I've got family coming over. We've got friends coming over. When we lived in Virginia, we used to do a 4th of July brunch, and we'd have some friends come over, and everything on the table was red, white, and blue themed. I used blueberries and strawberries with whipped cream. There was my red, white, and blue. And we had bacon and sausages and eggs and made to order omelets. Those were the first things I got out of the way. Then I could go sit down and relax and join everybody else. We had a table laden of food that we usually had 3 or 4 friends that would come over and join us for our 4th of July brunch. And that was a lot of fun. And we would just sit there at the dining table and just graze and have really good food, really good conversation. It was a great time. Number 3, read and or listen to a book. Now, you go and or? Yes, and or. So you can either just read a book, whatever topic you choose, or you can listen to a book on audiobooks, or you can do the two together. And I have done this from time to time, especially when I'm on a time crunch to get a book finished for my book club. I will sit there and I will put the Audible book onto like 1.2 or 1.3 or 1.5 speed thing, and I will sit there with the actual book or the electronic copy of the book, and I will follow along. And I find I get through the book so much faster when I do that. And because the volume that I'm hearing, that's why I have to increase the speed on the book. Sometimes 1.75, depending on the book, because I can listen faster than I can read it half the time. And so I just find that helps me get through a book. So sometimes I've got to be doing both, have that physical book or the Kindle in my hand and be hearing it at the same time. Listen to music, put music on and either dance around just dance around the house like nobody's watching, or while you're, or play music in the background while you're reading or writing or just relaxing. Maybe you're sitting and having brunch and you've got soft music playing in the background while you sit there and you have conversations with people. But always, have the music on. Music seems to lift people's vibrations as well. Sundays, family and friends time. If you don't catch up with them on Saturdays, then maybe get together on a Sunday and just have a cookout, a barbecue, or just go and hang with each other, meet up for brunch, meet up for a picnic somewhere, meet up at a local zoo, and just spend a day with each other or something. Or just have friends and family come over and you just crash out for the afternoon in the backyard by the swimming pool if you have a pool, or in the backyard just enjoying the sunshine. If it's too hot, you're inside, you're in the living room area, but you're just having a fun day. Watch a movie or two, or maybe have a movie fest. This is something that I really like to do if it's way too hot to go outside, like here in Phoenix. Excuse me. Excuse me. Like here in Sun City, when it gets up to those higher temperatures where I ain't going outside, I'm staying under the AC. So I may do a movie fest during that time. Do 3 movies watch a trilogy of 3 movies back to back to back. So a lot of those is weather determined. It could be just watching a movie for the day, and then I'll go sit and read and listen to music, or we might go for take a nap, which is another thing on the list, is take a nap. Naps are wonderful. They're great. They're energizing. They're refreshing. I love taking naps. I just had a 2-hour one. I usually put a timer on for like 30 minutes or 57 minutes and 27 minutes or 57 minutes. But today I forgot and had a nice little 2.5 hour nap today. But naps can be good. They're a good way just to refresh, reset, and just be a nice relaxing way to start. The idea of having a relaxing day on Sunday is so that you start the week refreshed and you're not hurrying from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. You're taking that time just to kick back and just breathe. And that you could spend time in meditation, you could spend time doing yoga, or things like that, or taking a bath could be another good idea too. Just anything that just helps you fully relax, so that when Monday rolls around, you're kind of like, yeah, I had a nice relaxing weekend. Didn't matter what you did on Saturday, as long as Sunday you have that relaxing day and you wake up in the morning and go, yes, let's get started. It's a brand new day, a brand new week. Let's go. Now, I know some people are not that enthusiastic about Mondays. I love Mondays. Go for a Sunday drive. Explore a new place. Look at the map. Look at where you live and go, what's some place within, maybe an hour to 2 hours of driving of where we live that we've never been to before, and head to that area and get out and just walk around that area. and maybe plan ahead and see if there's any festivals on in that particular area that you're wanting to explore, and that sort of thing as well. It could be just nice day, just walking around at a festival, just walking around a town, finding new things, that sort of thing. So exploring new places. Go for a walk or a bike ride and take a picnic with you. You can also take a picnic with you on your Sunday drive, but I always find that I don't eat those. I tend to buy something in a town that I'm in, an area that I'm in, because they might have a local mom and pop eatery of some type, and you've heard really good things about it, so you want to go and try it out. So what's the point in taking a picnic? I will have water and snacks in the car. I do admit that. I will have water and snacks, but I won't take an actual meal with me. But when I'm taking for a walk, and when I used to do bike riding as well, I'd always pack a picnic. I remember back in New Zealand, my girlfriend and I, in New Zealand, we have these 2-liter ice cream containers. They're plastic ice cream containers and come with a lid, and they're square. And we used to pack those up with, one would fill with sandwiches, one we would fill with like fruit and biscuits or cookies, or slices, that sort of thing. And we'd wrap it all up and put it into these things, and those would go on the carriers on the back of our bikes, and we'd just go biking around. And a lot of times, some of the places we went to, we were able to substitute, we were able to add to our little picnic, and we'd just sit on the side of the road and eat it, which horrifies some people now when you think about it, but this was back in the 80s, in the early 80s. But there'd be like roadside blackberry bushes, and we'd go pick some blackberries and have them with our lunch, or pick blackberries and take them home with us. So that was another thing that we used to do. But, take a picnic with you, go for a bike ride or a walk. Some places they have some biking trails that you can do, or walking trails. Take advantage of those. Plan ahead of time and take them with you. And number 10, which is my absolute favorite thing, unplug from technology. The only time on a Sunday, unless I am working a function, like an event or anything, like Networking Riches next weekend, I am not on my computer except to do this. But unplug. Just have this if you need it for directions. If you're in the car, I listen to an audiobook while we're driving around. We went for a drive this morning. We had breakfast out. Sunday is our drive-through breakfast morning. Excuse me, unless it's we want Chick-fil-A, then we have to do that on a Saturday. But they just closed the Chick-fil-A that's closest to us for renovations. So we can't have Chick-fil-A for a while. But anyway, so we will go through the drive-through, pick up things, go find a place to park and eat. And for the first time, I had Zeffie in the front seat with me this morning, because she's been whining a lot, and I figured out that our dog sitter basically lets her loose in the car. They've got a minivan, and Zeffie will either stand between the seats, or she'll sit on the front seat, depending on where they're driving and that sort of thing. But when Zeffie comes back to me, she's sitting in the back and she's whining constantly, almost constantly, unless she can put her head out the window with the screen, where I've got the screens on it. And so the other day I had to go over to the trash can, and I had a couple of bags of trash to take over. So we took the car over there, and I just sat her in the front seat while we ran that stuff over. And she just sat there and just not a peep out of her. And she always whines when we get in the car and we drive through the resort, because the resort speed is like 10 miles an hour. And she won't shut up until we get out of the gate and we get on the road where we go 30. Then she's zips. But she'll start whining when we stop. Today I had her in the front seat when we went out to get breakfast, and she didn't whine a lot. Even when we were sitting at a traffic light, she didn't whine as much as she normally does in the back seat. She just had these little whimpers, but nowhere near as bad as what she was doing if she was in the back seat. So I'm sort of like, but I did have her buckled in. Safety first. I did have her buckled in. She has a strap that hooks to her harness and clips into the seatbelt buckle. So she was buckled in, and we just had a nice little ride. But she got uncomfortable because she couldn't really lay down, because the seat's not big enough for her to lay down. So I think when we do the longer runs and stuff, I'll just put her in the back and put up with the whining and all of that sort of thing. So we should have gone through and got her a pup cup today, but it would have been fun. Her sitting there in her pup cup right there in the cup holder next to her. That would have been an interesting thing to see. But make Sundays just a day of relax. Now, some people on Sundays, they like to watch sports. Totally get that. Totally understand that. So that's another thing that you can do if you're into sports. Watch sports. That's your way of relaxing. Totally get it. So there's plenty of things out there that you can do on a Sunday. 10 different ways to relax. I think he actually got about 13 or 14 in there because we had some in there that was not on the list. Anyway, we are out of here for today. We're going to go and have a walk. I think it's like 90 degrees outside. It's 80 degrees in here right now because I got my AC set a little higher than I normally do. But I'm going to go and crank them down a little bit so we cool off before we go to bed and we're not having to go to bed in whatever heat there is. Thankfully, the humidity ain't that high. But anyway, so go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your evening. Our question for you today is, what are some of the things that you like to do to relax on your Sundays? Remember, Sundays could be any day of the week. It's that second day that you get off before you have to start your week again and go back to work and stuff. So what things do you like to do? Some people like to go to churches, synagogues, temples, go to some meeting of some sort. There's different places that people like to go and experience different things. So what are some of the things that you like to do to relax? Let us know in the comments below. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here at 6 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. Hey, Conara.